Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we will configure the flight plan manually in our Icon A5 airplane, which is an airplane which can land both on, I would say, normal ground and on water. First we're gonna define a flight plan, in this case using simbrief.com, which is a website. You need to create an account, as you can see here. Once you created the account you can configure, as far as I know, unlimited flight plans. So I've just logged in, so press the new flight button here and then I will provide some data. So let me zoom in a bit. So in this case I will fly from the Texel Airport, which is a small island in the north of the Netherlands, and I will make a complete round trip to the Netherlands and will end up at Groningen Airport. Let me see if that finds it. Yeah. As you can see, you can also specify an alternate destination, which is in case that, for example, the airport is being closed. For now, we leave Amsterdam as the backup airport. We leave the date and time set, and we define the aircraft type. As you can see, a very long list. In this case, let's see if we can find more airplane in between it. Not sure if it's in. I don't see it. So in that case, let's select our good old Cessna. If you want, you can click the open aircraft editor to make some changes or to add some aircrafts to the database. But for now we will leave it as is. So what we just did is we set the flight plan info and we configured the aircraft type. When you scroll down a bit, you will find the route information. By default, it will populate it with the route which is the most optimal route. It will do that based on the RAC 9003, which, as you can see, is outdated. If you want to change it, you can do it here, but keep in mind you need an account for that. So we will leave it for now. And we will browse a little bit to the bottom of the window. As you can see, the trip goes via what we call the IJsselmeer and then back to Groningen. But as what I told you is I want to make a round trip to the Netherlands, not like this because we only visit a part of the Netherlands. So what we can do is we need to add some additional waypoints. But how can we discover those waypoints? Well, on the top of the screen or the top of the map, you see several buttons are not enabled. By default, only the route option is enabled. So let's switch on the airports and then show all the airports. You can see that if we zoom out a bit, it will add some additional items to the map. It will add the Rotterdam Airport, Hilversum, and some other ones. Besides the airports, we want to have the 4 channels being added, right? So because we want to add some additional waypoints. So if we would zoom in a bit now, you can see that multiple additional waypoints like Spijkerboor and Lelystad have been added to the map, which makes it easier to set or I would say route to the Netherlands to make our round trip. So now we have the I would say waypoints selected or identified. We need to modify the route, and I already did some pre-work. So let me replace this part with this part and then press the analyze route option. It says, hey, the route's valid. This is the distance, so in total 400. So that's a lot more. We probably need to make some landings to refuel. And when we would go down to the map, you would see several waypoints which have been added to our map, which is great, right? So we're starting at Texel, then we're flying through Amsterdam, Rotterdam, then to Haamstede, Woensdrecht, Eindhoven, then to the most southern part of the Netherlands, Maastricht, then fly up to Delen, Hilversum, Lelystad, and then back to Groningen. So this is really easy. So now we identified all these points. What we can do is we can add them to our flight plan in Flight Simulator. There are two ways to do that, and one way is to let me zoom out a bit, is to save the flight and then generate the OFP. And the OFP says, okay, hey, do I want to replace the old one? Yes, I want to do it. And here you can see the list, so you can see all the waypoints being added here. You can see that there's some additional information like, okay, hey, maximum altitude, did we reach the maximum altitude, or yes or no, and a large PDF file. And I will not go through it now. Maybe in the future we will have a look at it, but here starts the most important list, right? All the waypoints which we are gonna visit during our trip. One great option in simbrief.com is that you can download the plan file. If we would download the plan file, it would already pre-populate our flight plan in our airplane. But in this case, that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to add the waypoints manually to our flight plan. So let's head over to our airplane and then let's configure our flight plan. So here's our airplane. Let's go into the airplane, switch on the battery, and then go to our Garmin system and select the option flight plan, as you can see here. By default, it will show you the current location. So in this case, we're at Texel Airport. So let's add that airport as start point. And for the ones who saw the how to configure the flight plan in the Cessna, you can see that this one is, I would say, much easier to do. So we will enter the airport, and as you can already see, they're identified, hey, we want to add the Texel waypoint to our flight plan. We click enter, and as you can see, the origin has now been set to Texel. If you scroll to the bottom, and you can do that pretty easy with your mouse, you can also add a destination. And in this case, we want to go to Groningen Airport. It's called Eelde. And select add. So if we would zoom in or zoom out a bit, you would see that it would do a straight flight from Texel to Groningen. But that's not what we want, right? We want to add some additional waypoints. So let's do that. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do it the easy way, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use this map and add the waypoints, because we already knew or know several waypoints which we want to use. So in this case, I want to add the HDR waypoint. So I select the option add en route waypoint, and then simply type in the name and hit enter. And you can see that it automatically updates the flight map. Really cool, isn't it? So let's add another one. Come on. We need to select the option here. Don't select the option here. This is just a section header. Select the option below the waypoint we just added. And let's add SY enter, and here you can see it says, okay, hey, I found multiple waypoints. Which one do you want to use? And here you see some symbols, right? You see one of them without a symbol, which is pretty close, and you can see some waypoints which are far away. So probably those are not in the Netherlands. So let's select this one because this one is the most closest. So we've added the waypoint. So let's add another one. Let's add, what shall we do? You can see a lot of information on this map. Let's add Amsterdam, the AMS one. AMS, hit enter. Again, it found multiple ones. Select the top one, that's the closest one. So now let's go a little bit to the southern part of the Netherlands, because our next waypoint, which we added or was part of our flight plan, was the Rotterdam Airport. So scroll down, type the letters here, RTM, and when we would zoom out a bit, you would see that the that the charts automatically updated. Next one was HSD. This one's added. Let's now add WDT. Then add GZR. Then we will add Eindhoven. As you can see, Eindhoven has there are two beacons which are starting with EH and which are pretty close to Eindhoven, but let's lose the EHV one. Then the next one which we need to add is, where are we? Let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's add Maastricht Aachen Airport. HBD, or this is Boedel. Boedel, no, that's not the one we want. So you can hit the backspace. I think it was BK. Yep, that's the correct one. And then it's VKL as our next one. DLN. Whoa. Now let's add the Hilversum Airport one, because then we also have been to the center of the Netherlands. Then we add Lelystad Airport. Let's add the Evero one. Or is it? Zoom out a bit. EHHO, which was on our flight plan. I think then we're there pretty much. So you can see that on the map there are far more waypoints which you can use. Waypoints here, there's Laywater here. We will have a look at what those symbols actually mean in a future episode of our how-tos. For now, let's please accept that we're gonna, I would say, use them in a bit of mixed way. You can see that we're using the waypoints of the airports, but also the VOR channels. Now we've added all the waypoints. Let's have a look at it. So what you can do is press the map option here, and the map option here will show you, well, our complete route. The active part is the pink one. Once we reached Den Helder waypoint, it will mark this one as pink, and so on and so on. So you can see as, well, kind of hard it was in the Cessna, as easy as it is in this airplane, the Icon A5. Once you're ready for takeoff, don't forget to press the airplane icon, which will focus the view on your airplane. I hope you like this video. If you like it, don't forget to press the like button. If you like to stay up to date about more videos I'm posting, then subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.